I'm Dave Hoy, agronomist with LG Seeds, properly masked and socially distanced to talk about this week's agronomy tip of the week, focusing on those pretty flowers in soybeans. So, soybean flowering are these little purple flowers right here. Pretty flowers, right? Now, this is called R1 when you have beginning flowering. And what you need to have R1 is just have one of these flowers on the main stem. Now, in this particular plant, we've got some nice branching. We got flowers over here too. So this is still R1, but it's working its way towards R2. R2 would be when you have flowers in the uppermost part of the plant. So that's ending bloom, okay? Now, this plant is still going to keep blooming, and it's still going to keep putting on flowers. See, soybeans are photoperiod sensitive, which means that they generally start flowering around the longest day of the year, June 21st, summer solstice. In actuality, though, they can start about 7 to 10 days earlier if the vegetation is right and they're feeling pretty good. They can actually start flowering just a little bit earlier. So, a couple neat things about soybeans. They're driven by temperature. I mean, they need a lot of sunlight to really make this bad boy grow, but they're driven by temperature. And so before flowering, the temperature is what makes this whole field get up and grow. And then we get that night length, right? That photoperiod summer solstice, and it says, boom, time to start flowering. And then after that, it goes back to temperature. And so that temperature is going to drive the pod formation and everything. But right now, in that one little window, it's kind of sensitive. Now, it's going to abort a lot of these little flowers, right? It's got all these beautiful flowers, but not all of them are going to turn into pods. It's going to decide at this moment how much yield it's going to have. And then we can increase or decrease that depending on how much temperature and moisture we have. And too much or too little, well, that'll affect our yields. So how do we get as many of those pods to stick around as we can? Well, the big answer is the more nodes you have, well, the more pods you have, right? You see, on this plant, beautiful little soybean plant, these are all nodes right here. Everywhere you have a joint where a little branch comes out, that's a node, that's a node. And these are internodes right here. And so you'll notice that the flowers, man, they always hit right on the nodes. That's where you have that meristematic region where those pods start to grow. And you get pods growing, and if those pods get past 1/4 inch or bigger, there's a good chance they're going to survive. And so for us to get the most yields we have, we need the most nodes we can have. That means we need to get this plant as big and tall and beefy as we can so that we can get more flowers, so that we can get more pods and get more yield. So whether you have soybeans that are beginning to flower or that are well into it, the key is to keep as many of those flowers on there as possible. So now's a good time to stay out of the soybean field and just kind of watch it and let it do its thing. I'm Dave Hoy, agronomist with LG Seeds, and this is your agronomy tip of the week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next trip.